speaking, that is what tells you whether what you delivered actually hit or not. So I'm speaking about the professional side. So, simple terms, public speaking is just speaking. Now let's move on. Examples of speaking in public. Reading Bible lessons is speaking in public. The Bible text we did right now is speaking in public. But as we move along, you get to understand that reading the Bible even comes to the skill. We don't just read. You realize that to be a very good public speaker, when you are even reading the Bible, you don't just read, but you try to communicate with emotions. So that is one aspect of public speaking. Another way is giving testimonies. There are some people who come here normally on 31st night. At a point, we even tell them that over 2 minutes, 3 minutes. These people, some of them, unfortunately, have not mastered the skill of public speaking. So instead of going straight to the point, getting the main introduction, the subject, and concluding, they will go from Ogatanga to Wa to Tamale before they end, before you finally get to know what they are saying. Sometimes, even those of us listening to them can conclude for them before they even finish. So even in testimonies, it is public speaking. So Ube does learn active well. That's the issue in front. All right. Now, leading opening prayers, like what our brother did last Sunday. I don't know him. I realized he was even in the choir, but I was watching the service online, so I followed everything. I even paid attention to Pastor's comments that he just called him to come and do it. Now, can you imagine as he came to lead the opening prayers and he couldn't really speak well? He couldn't even give us the topics to pray with. How service would have been that morning. Maybe because we were first time and all that. But because he excelled, Pastor even commented about it and told us that we must all be ready. The truth is, you don't need you don't have to be excellent to do something like that. You just need to learn the basics, and you can also lead prayers. So leading prayers is also public speaking. MCing a program, teaching at Sunday school. I'm trying to limit my presentation in church, but it can be outside church. So giving announcements, going for evangelism, leading Bible studies, chairing meetings, weddings, funerals, and the rest. All these are public speaking, and every Christian must develop the skill. So, in fact, the public speaking is not just for those of us who are interested. Everybody here, once we have been called, and the Great Commission is to go out and win souls. Now, if you don't know how to speak in public, how do you win the souls? How do you speak to them for them to get the message? So, public speaking, I'm just trying to establish that is very, very important. In the Bible, why church members must learn public speaking? In the Bible, we have several examples. God spoke through Moses, through Peter, through Paul, through Stephen. Because of time, I will try and jump most of these things. But leadership requires learning how to speak. So if you are a leader in any group, whether from the top, our papas level, even at the area heads level, at the chairman's level, everywhere, it requires a certain level. In fact, for political parties and the rest, maybe in Ghana we don't do it, but if you go abroad, these politicians, the president and the rest, they are taken through proper lectures and training to learn how to speak in public. There is something very common with our chairman. I don't know if you've noticed it, but anytime he sits down to take a picture, he's in a certain position. All these things, he didn't come. When he was not chairman, if you have followed him, he wasn't like that. So I'm just saying that every position you get into, it has a certain responsibility you must learn. This is a typical example of what we are going to do here today. This evening, I'm going to touch on just a few things. Number one, speaking well represents Christ. If you can't speak well, Jesus Christ was able to speak well. As a young boy, When he grew, he spoke in parables and the rest. He spoke well. So speaking well is just like being Christ. So if you cannot speak well at that side, there's something wrong. And that's why I appreciate those of you who came here today. Let's start with the number one thing, overcoming stage fright. Why people become nervous. Most of the time when we say, oh, public speaking, and the rest, we are scared. I know there are some people here that today, if I ask them to come right now to speak, those shakes, do your nose. Let's see if C can come. C, please come. I want to see if C can come and do something. No, C, will you be able to speak easily? C, the killer. No, but that's something. You get used to it. Okay. See your very idea. But one of the reasons why people have stage fright, people are afraid when they are called to do something, is because they fear the mistakes. That's the first thing. So we are learning the steps how to overcome some of these things. It's simple, it's not any special training. Number one, have it at the back of your mind that mistakes are bound to happen. In fact, everything I'm saying now, you actually don't know what I've written to say. So even if I make a mistake, and it's not a grammatical error, you will need to know. Because when I'm at trauma, you won't give me a matter and you get it. So understand it that way. That the mistake is part. Yours is to understand that it's a mistake. There are those you can correct there instantly, especially the grammatical errors and the rest, if you are consciously aware of it. And it's part of life. Our brother has a very nice way of correcting himself, Elder, on stage. I remember one, when I was preparing this lesson, and he just came in mind. I said, Nanobina, or Lady and Bible study now, some English word, all kind of slip of tongue, very few words. So he was saying, oh, kind of, it's on my team yesterday, and the whole congregation of us were smiling and laughing. He didn't take it as a mistake that will let us see, hey, Papi, you are born. No. In fact, all of us now, maybe using it as an example in my lesson. So that's how you have to see mistakes. Don't be afraid. Be quiet. You probably be a meeting in West, no. No. So, first thing, stage fright. Forget about mistakes. As for mistakes, they will come. When they come and you see them, you can correct them. Even when I started, I made a mistake. But like I said, we are not perfect. We speak until we make mistakes. Sometimes slip of tongue, but sometimes grammatical error. Welcome, yeah, not realizing those you can correct. So you just move on. Once that is there, you will never be afraid to take a microphone and come to speak. So number one. Number two, fear of forgetting. Now, people are afraid that maybe points now are wrong. And that's why we make notes. Our pastors make notes. Chairman Yamecha makes notes. Pastor, they make notes. So you can make your notes. For instance, today I wanted to do a PowerPoint projection. What I had done to project is different from what I'm using here. And normally that's what you do. Because you don't project exactly what you are also using. You have to make it very simple for the audience, whilst you have the detailed one, and then it makes you deliver. So feel free at any point to make notes. There are some of the churches, even their prayers, they have it printed. When we are doing weddings and the rest, there are some of the things we are dedicating buildings. We read from handbooks, we don't memorize them. So don't be afraid that you forget. If you forget, make notes and always refer to them, and you can speak. But when you are afraid that when you get here, all that you have planned in your head, you forget, then you will never be able to take a microphone and lead anything at all. Point number three, why you have stage fright, fear of criticism. We are afraid, I'm for best friend, I'm for criticizing, and I say, please take that out. If you are able to take these things out, including embarrassment, you will never be afraid to take a microphone. Because yours is that if I make a mistake, it's part. I correct myself, those that I can, I move on. Yours is that I shouldn't be nervous. Let me feel free. I make my notes. Those that I feel lead worship, some of them, they write the songs. When they come, they start with this one. They know this one's for, because they prepare all those things. So, like I said, we are overcoming stage fright. And these are the points I've listed. Honestly speaking, we don't have too much time. So I'll take away the practical exercises, because I have put a lot of practical exercises together. I was going to make us read, for instance. Someone will read very fast, someone will read a bit slow, someone will read with observing the punctuations for us to check all that. If there is time, we'll come back to the practice. Let's look at number 2. 5 ways to reduce your fear. 5 ways to reduce your fear. Point number 1, you must pray. It always helps. There is this lady in the Voice of Pentecost called Anita. Anita sings very well. Now, Pen TV's Festival of Praise last year. Oh, we did it this year. I've missed the month and date of it. So you see right now, I'm cool to actually tell you that I have forgotten. It's not a big deal. Nobody will actually arrest you for that. Be honest, just move on. I'm doing the presentation. I want to say something. I've forgotten. I just tell you, honestly, you move on. If you don't get that level of courage, you'll always be afraid to speak. So that particular Festival of Praise, it was her turn to go and minister. And I was one of the MCs. So we did it at the AME Park. So I went closer to her and I realized that, okay, before the full stage, she was all right, but then she was, speaking the tongues and all that. I'm just telling you that some of those people, you think they are, you're special, but they all have some of these fears that we have. All they do is that they prepare before they go. So you must also prepare, and one of the ways is to pray and ask God to help you to do it. That is very, very important. Number 2, prepare. And that's where a lot of us are found wanting. Today when we're coming, I was telling those with me at home that, the presentation, you should don't prepare you, because then I'm busy, I'll be moving up and down. You should don't prepare you. Apart from slide, I'm here, I'm the man watching. But maybe I'm able to flow because this is something I often do. I speak about, and not too long ago I did some here. So let's say I'm used to it. But normally you must prepare. Sometimes you have to sit down, do research, depending on what you're going to do. If you are coming to preach, you have to pick your topic, do research. Sometimes you even have to compare different versions of the Bible, see how this Bible translates it, see how they explain it, the exposition they provide. You compare those, match it against the theology of the church, see if you're on the right track. So when you are here and you are speaking, it's just like going to write an exams. When you prepare very well or you receive the apport, and the apport comes, can you imagine how you write it? Exactly. So just prepare what you are going to do. And one of the ways to prepare is to speak to yourself at home. Right. This morning when I woke up at dawn, though I had not prepared, I was speaking to the empty hall at Ben TV, some of the things I was saying to you. And one of the things I was telling the empty space was your example. So even as we prepare, yes, you must prepare. Because if you don't prepare, that's when you feel like you forget. That's when you feel like, hey, no, you must prepare. And one of the ways to prepare is also to practice. So just like I said, you practice at home, you look at the mirror and speak to it and all that. Especially those of you that is what you do. Speak to the mirror. Well, speak. Though sometimes if you can record with your phone, record. Record it. We are doing our show. Hey, so I'm yes. Very, very important. And then the other thing is to breathe. Breathe. Now, I've written it here. Take slow, deep breaths before speaking. And that one is not just before, but even as you speak. These breaks, pauses, they help you to speak clearly than to just rattle it like that. And then also, one final thing about reducing fear. Anytime you are speaking, your mindset should be that you are trying to help people. So if the congregation is, let's say, the youth meeting and you are speaking to them about social media, so what is at the back of your mind is that you are impacting them on maybe the dangers of social media, how they can solve their problem. So you are not thinking about mistake now, no. You are seeing the kind of need they have and you are satisfying that need. So your thinking is not mistakes, it's not fear, it's not crowd. You can meet 1 billion people. If what you are seeing is the need in them, which is why you are standing there speaking to them, you will not be afraid of that crowd. So let's take these points: reducing fear, pray, prepare, practice, breathe in, and focus on helping people. Now, this part I'll jump it, but I'll ask you to go research and work around it. That's part of speech. Usually, for those of us who do public speaking, we divide whatever we have to go and do into 3. First one is introduction, which is very, very important. In fact, your introduction is so important because when you come to speak, how you start, what you say, the impact you make in the first 2-3 minutes will determine whether I'll listen to you or not. Sometimes people speak, I don't pay attention to them. I don't listen to them because their first intro, it puts you off. It throws you away. It makes you down. You start to sleep. When you are speaking and people are sleeping, you should be concerned. It's something is happening. Even if the person is that tired, one of your jobs, like I said, is to send a certain message and for the people to get the message. So if they are not getting the message and they are sleeping, there's something wrong. Either you are not articulating well, you are not speaking well, you are giving them a certain signal that is making them sleep. So introduction, and the introduction usually comes by, let's say, ask them. I started today by asking a question, but you can also come with a story. You can also come and throw a challenge to them. In church settings, you can start with a Bible quotation. Our area head does that a lot when he's coming to preach. I've seen that about him at least many times that I've covered him. He will share most of his quotations, beginning, then he starts to flow. Most places I've seen. It may not be always, but at least I've seen him many times like that. It's up to you. Which one? Stories work better because sometimes people can relate. Personal stories of people, you can ask questions, you can throw a challenge. These introductions are supposed to get people's attention. Then what everybody is doing, they'll stop and pay attention to you. So whatever you go to deliver at Bible study level, Sunday school level, whatever, pay attention to your introduction. Very important. Then your body, that's what your body can how you have grouped it. I don't want to spend so much time on that. And then your conclusion. In most conclusions, we expect that when you are preaching or you are speaking, whatever you are doing, don't end and say, okay, and that is where we end, and I have end. That's all. But your ending must always go with calling them to action. So sometimes during sermons, you see that pastor will speak, and the end summary is go out and do this, come and do this, surrender to do this. These summaries are very, very important. So call to action, very, very important. When you are speaking, you introduce nicely. When you are ending, you must summarize what you have said, because you said a lot. Certain instances as you speak, from actual background review. So summary is important. So summary and call to action, very, very important as part of your speech. Now let's look at a few other things. Maybe I'll open the floor for questions. Voice control. This is very, very important. Avoid speaking in one tone. If you speak and your tone is one throughout, people will sleep. Yeah. The reason is that as you speak, there are certain words you must stress. There are certain words you must raise your voice. There are others you must bring it down. So Don't have a flat voice. And you do that by just paying attention to your words. If you ever say, now how do I know say we never say kosoro, that we never say powerful? Pay attention to the words. For instance, you don't just speak and say Jesus loves you. Someone will say Jesus loves you. Someone will say Jesus loves you. So you pay attention to the message you are giving, and the words will inform when to raise your voice and when to bring it down. Sometimes you can raise your voice throughout, and it may sound piercing to someone. It may even sound annoying to someone. I have some friends. It's not that they are annoyed, but anytime they speak, irritates you. Because these are people who have not learned that. So this is important. Your voice control. That one need to take time. You have to keep doing it. Maybe sharing videos and audios with us. You stress when you need to stress. You cool when you need to cool. This is very, very important. So your volume, speaking loudly, and the rest, very, very important. Shouting, people don't like that. I remember I was chatting with a friend of mine, not a long time ago, and I started using capital letters. So after I use capital letters, we use I just said we should how it. Why are you screaming at me? I'm screaming at you. So quickly, I'm seeing as I before you see me using capital letters, I'm stressing the point. And it's the same thing, just like the same thing. Let's say I was when I finished SS. No, I'm saying like generally since when is capital letters? Oh, and so this is the thing. So this is the thing. Normally we use capital letters to holding a sentence. So only needing for who use capital letters that means you are boldening or you are stressing or what you are saying. But depending on the level of conversation, he sees it as shouting. And I was one but some caps and west. So my tone has changed. Means I'm just typing normal time. So when we're on a commercial break, quickly, camera and passports. England coach, you're going to send. I will watch them. You buy TV, there's my back with the dead. Okay, I'm team sports. I'm going to prepare to make sure I get it right because now you mistake. Mistake now, yeah, an account. So you have lost in terms of your communication. So paying attention to pronunciations is okay, no problem. But even me, when I'm speaking Tree, I always let my audience know I'm not good. Because I'm not very good in Tree when you put me on camera. And then the next referee will say, now I'm a public people are saying proverbs in Tree. Not my rocket gram to and we can wrong thing. And Mama Esther will correct it. So pronunciation is important. If it is Tree now, make sure say you must learn it well. And that is why you have to pay attention to your vocabulary. You don't have to go and speak those big English. No. We even in journalism, we learned that when you use those big English and their vocabulary, it doesn't make you special. You even lose your audience. The point is that ask yourself, bro, now you used to know how many of those you are speaking to will actually understand that word. So we are always advised that use the very simple words, the ones that everybody can appreciate. So instead of saying flower, just say surprised and be free. Instead of saying perplexed, just say they are confused. If you say confused, everybody understands. If you say perplexed, but sometimes you think it's Mubana or Bekasa. Hey, I got it for Tibrofu, actually. They mystify. Like they mystify. When you get the vocabulary, you can try over here, no, some level of respect. But you've lost. Because don't forget, anything you are doing is not because you want to show them you can speak, but it's because you want to send a message to them. So ask yourself, what you are doing, are they getting the message? If they are not getting it, you fail. You have to change your method. And that's why it's important to take money where you do baby money. Okay. Sorry, I'm using somebody's phone because my phone is the one we're using. Okay. All right. So I'm done with pronunciations, then emphasis. I've talked about emphasis already. There are certain words and certain statements sometimes you need to emphasize when you're speaking. You are asking them. So go out. This Sunday, we're all going out. It's important. Go out. Go out. The message hits twice. You sent a message. So in speaking, take note of these things. There are certain words, certain statements. Sometimes you need to emphasize them by just repeating. When I say emphasize, repeat them to make the point, and it sticks into our head. It doesn't mean you have to emphasize a lot of things because then you confuse the people. But one or two of those statements, emphasize them, and it will help. When I finish, I'll share the slide because each topic I'll put an exercise that you can practice at home, and then it will help you overcome those things. Now, body language. Let's look at body language. How many minutes more do I? About 10. 5. Okay. So we'll see what we can do. Body language is very, very important. Now, communication is not only words. Today, those of you who watch Pen TV, in my introduction, I was saying that when I was giving the word of the day, I linked, it was First Corinthians chapter 9, and I tried to look at the lesson of the bees, and the fact that bees have aroma, they have scent. Now, as I spoke about that, so I'm just advertising Pen TV, so it means they have to be watching Pen TV and that's everyone issue. Yeah, and I was saying that as we speak, these bees speak by body language because they release scent. And I was saying that as Christians, the aroma in terms of communication is important. Now, in the whole world, those of us who study communication, we are told that in communication, it's just about 20 to 30% that is verbal. Makia, the words I'm uttering are just about 30% of the message I'm giving you. I'm giving you are non-verbal, like my actions, my eye language. Those are the actual messages you are getting. The smiles, the laughter. So the words itself is just like 30. It means that you have to pay attention to their eye contact is important. Eye contact, there are two ways. When you are shy, you don't look at the people you are shy of. So the crowd, like, let's say I'm shy of pastor, it means I'll not be looking at the web pastor is more over with her, so I'll look. You have eye contact with someone, the person gets your message. So if normally when I'm doing an interview and I want the person's eye for 2 minutes, I won't take it off. If the person cannot stay with me for 2 minutes, the person cannot do the presenter job. So eye contact is very important. Try it at home. Look at your wife or your husband for 2 minutes, for 3 minutes. When you have message across, it's the same thing communicate. Because there are lots, you can't keep looking at one person, so you keep changing. But when you look at them, they feel personal with what you are saying. They connect better. So if you are preaching, you are leading Sunday school, whatever, maintain eye contact. Keep changing. Maybe every 5 minutes, you look at one group or two people, you look at them, you change, and it will help. The person will get your message. But if personal, as or known and not the entire congregation. We are wrapping up. Smile naturally. Maybe I'm asking, and then the answer and nobody will say fake. So the smile is important, but it has to be natural. Then stand upright. Okay, this one I have a pulpit, so I tend to lean sometimes, but because it's body language, what you must aim at is that the should not take the people's mind off the message you are giving. So if your body language takes my mind off the message I'm giving you, and now you are thinking of maybe the way I'm moving my leg or the way I've tilted like this, I've failed. So body language is important. Avoid excessive movement. Sometimes we are forced to move. Charismatic support, it helps to a point, but it actually becomes a nuisance if it is too much. So you can sometimes move. No apostle, no stay, no deliver, and some will move. The reason is that if the moving becomes too frequent, now I will not listen to what you are saying. I'm watching your movement because in TV, eye is very important. TV lives changes, new things. Into moving up and more change as now. Avoid hands in the pockets. Actually, this one is normal, but in Africa and in Ghana, you can find some pockets. So you don't put your hands in your pocket to speak, and don't rock from side to side. Let me end and rather give for questions. But I had topics like giving church announcements, reading Bible lessons, giving testimonies, introducing speakers. But these are all things when I share with you as a slide, there are exercises there. So you can practice them at home. And then anytime we meet, we can share ideas. And I'm sure you will become perfect. So I'll touch on common mistakes and then we'll open the floor for questions. Common mistake number 1, reading every word. So to set by text now, the Bible text I asked you to read for us. If I were reading, it would have been slightly different. So the thing is that you don't read word by word. You try to read and bring a meaning of the word. Maybe we can open a text and then read it. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Amen. If we're in church, yes, you'll be young kind of son of a kind. But ideally, if you're reading, what we expect you to do is John 3:16. For God so loved the world. And it helps you practice better. So don't read it just word by word. Read it like because they are wondering how that waving now. And I'm Mr. Manzi. Okay. Repeating excessively. But we want to make sure that we don't say the M too much. Naturally, we say it, but you have to try and limit the M. Once you limit it, it's okay. But if you don't limit it and it becomes frequent, they say it's me time or cry. Some boys are way bad. Sorry, goes a normal time. They know anytime you say M, they will become M. There are boys like that in the church. All right. Another common mistake, apologizing repeatedly. So when you are speaking, you don't do the apology repeatedly. I beg your pardon, 1, 2, be aside. And you don't have to keep doing it. And you only say, hey, no, after. Then wandering off the topic. So once a while, you can only be quick, but you don't walk off track. I said, the amount of topics said police was 112. Then maybe the last one, exceeding allotted time, like Nehemiah. They say everything, when the audience know that you're going to do 1 hour, you have to finish 1 hour. Because some people like us, and I know 1 or 2 people too, if you say we close at 11, when it's 11, we started packing our things. If it is 8, because we have a lot of things to do. I'm not saying church service and church activities are not important, but the human being has planned and we have programmed the mind that I'm going to be here from 8 to 10. So when you say you are going to speak 30 minutes should be done. You have to work around it. Then the rest, let them hang up for more and then maybe another time. I think that what we have learned, the basics at least, but should be now to help us. We'll share this, practice it, and practice it. I want someone to challenge us and give us a 30-second summary of some of the common mistakes in public speaking. Someone who has never spoken before in church. If the person does it for me, I'll be very, very be bold. This is the first example. Now we're going to first things and close. But that's a summary of some of the common mistakes that people do in public speaking. Mommy, try some. Okay, if you are afraid of maybe but take those ones away. Just share with us. Okay. 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 Mistakes. As well, because so when we hold it like it's different. When we hold it like this, it's different. Those who sing, they are not supposed to be doing this more because of the way it will sound. But for us who speak, you know the effect. So you check all that. All these things, but the basic ones are what we are talking about. At this point, open the floor for 1 or 2 questions. Yes, question. Maybe just coming fear, stage fright, speaking in public. What do you do? Prepare. Very, very important. These are important. And everybody must actually know how to speak in public. Yes, I was.
Okay, so actually my questions are all for my
boss.
The first question is, assuming you are given 30 minutes to do a presentation, and you do 20 minutes. Is it appropriate? Is it acceptable? And then the next question is, we have got to be practicing more so that we can master. But this is the case in which we are at church, and then you get the opportunity once a year. How can you be perfect?
Thank you very much. For your first question, how many of you know our missions director, or what we know as the international missions director? Oh, we don't know him. If you know him, raise your hand. Hey, you will be new. No. Oh, then I have to tell him so that he will visit us. Yes. I also okay, he will visit us. Now they are at PCC doing the missions orientation. But I asked if you know him because he's one of the people who uses less time to speak. And those of us who follow them, we admire him for it. We don't blame the others for speaking long because they are doing their normal time. But we admire him that the same 1 hour message, he is able to do it in 15 minutes. Because of that, our leaders, in their own wisdom, pick him to speak at certain programs that we need. Will be awake 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So it's not bad if you do that. It makes you special in your own way. It doesn't mean no. So long as you are able to deliver your message as you want it, that is good. For the second question, maybe Pastor can help me more, but all I can say is that it's not only at the church you have to practice these things. I limited most of my examples to church because we are in church, but at your workplace, at home, talking to our wives, our husbands at home is all public. You can start from there and be practicing what we are learning instead of doing the normal thing. Be practicing that. And on your own, do it in the mirror. Like I said, sometimes oops, there, speak, do preaching. You start, sell meeting, you do it small. Then I'm sure maybe from today. Thank you. Yes, Robin.
For instance, there's a camera on you. Yes. Or like, you know that you're going to be aired, everybody's watching. How do you do that? Sometimes the moment the camera comes, they're doing some broadcast and our publication, and they want to take a video shot of whatever that we are doing, they're going to use it for recording. Nobody was prepared to start, so I decided to end. The moment I was going, so I know what I was going to do. But the moment the camera and
Tension.
I don't know what to do. It took some time.
Yeah.
Before them say, when the little first mass, so and how I do the moment you see the camera now and knowing that they are going to send it somewhere with that background,
so the first thing is that the mindset that will make a mistake and it will go far and people will talk about it is what messes us up. But the last time I was here, there was a gentleman who asked a question similar to him. He didn't say camera, but he says he can speak very well. But once you give him the microphone to any PR, but when you good speaker, it's in the first crown when you see mic or kind of normal or you see normal voice. So you have to start from taking off that mindset and mentality that we mistake. But sometimes you have to build friendship with the media. So some of us, this is what we do. For instance, the chairman of the Church of Pentecost knows that when we meet, there are certain things we will take out. Like when we are videoing him, there are certain things that will never go out. So you have to trust the cameras. You have to trust the people. There are those who are bad. They almost said that bad, looking for the bad things to take out. But usually, there's a document that has come from head office, for instance, that we will be sharing, which is part of it that we should sensitize members so that you are aware that cameras. So, as much as possible, they are even saying we should try not to do live, but delayed ones. so that we can take out the mistakes, the yama things before we put it out. You have to understand that the camera is your friend. If you understand that the camera is your friend, you can speak. But when we see the camera as a tool to destroy me, and yet, nobody can trade you to overcome it. So maybe first of all, usually for reporters, we advise them that when they go for programs, they should talk to the organizer. Interview, normally you are supposed to have a pre-discussion with the person. Now so that the person can feel at home and serve on my interview. If I'm going to interview you, sometimes in most of the politicians and the rest, we give them questions. We don't just ask them. If, for instance, the president is coming to PCC for a program, his speech, we even draft for him. Then we draft for him what he should come and say. So there are a lot of preparation behind the scenes. Because at your level, that doesn't happen. So you are mostly afraid. But the go through camera. So start making the camera your friend more than something that will destroy you. Once you see it as a friend, we'll practice it a little way. See it as a friend. And when some of us are around, mistake be a help pocket. You ever try your best to help pocket. Once you know that mistaking pocket, you're free to speak. All right. Last question, another two. Okay. The last. The power one. Okay.
My question is,
Yes.
sometimes there are some words that are very difficult to pronounce.
Yes.
When you are having two vowels, a word, like what's the area? Pastor said, RUIN. And when sometimes when you are pronouncing, if you don't take care with the first letter, you pronounce it wrong. So
We call English school, but let's add the last two so I can just answer them. We'll answer the question. Yes, please add it.
Mine is about stammering in speech, even though you are not a natural stammerer. But you want to speak in stammer.
This one the idea. And the last one, then we are done, please.
Okay, so my question is, you have the opportunity to keep washing, but as you said, because I'm afraid, I'm scared of making mistakes, I have my songs written down, other things. Now, is it good? This is what I want to ask you. If you're not able to answer me, I want to go into pastor. Is it good? I have my songs written down, so as I go along the service, I'll be looking at it then, so that to me, so that I can flow. I'm angry, my focus.
Okay, no, let's start from you so I don't forget that. So the thing is, we have to all accept that the English language is not our language. We are all learning it. So it will take time. The thing is, once you decide to communicate in English, you have to work at it. Me, I'm not perfect. There are some words I even learned from the young ones. Nowadays, now, they are school, this Montessori school. Now, what they teach them, our time, they don't teach us that. So I do pick certain things from them. So as for these pronunciation and words, you have to keep doing it. Like I said, for us, we go to Google. We have certain softwares. Before we go on air, the words that we are not sure, we type it there. The pronunciation is there, we hear it. Then we use it. You're just on your phone. You can just type a word, how it's pronounced. Then for this one, you have to keep just practicing it. But what I want to say is that don't let that prevent you from speaking. But when your focus is on that, you will not want to speak. Because your mind is that you make a mistake. Number two, some of those things and others like fear of forgetting and the rest are what make you stammer. Because like you said, naturally you are not a stammerer. But but usually at the beginning it comes. The last time I was telling you that even me, sometimes during certain presentations, once or twice, I get nervous, I shake. So you have to learn the art of relaxing. Sometimes before you go and speak, breathe in, breathe out about 3 times before you start speaking. Sometimes too, when I see that I'm shaking too much, I check, say air condition, I more. I try say so that my show can grab it back on that, my relax. Sometimes I'm shaking, I'll stand in a setting where nobody sees it, just so that my hands could. Sometimes maybe the people can tell from your hand. So maybe my first 2-3 minutes, I try to use my 2 hands to hold the microphone. Once you start and it's going well, one can sound very relaxing. Then now I leave with one. Nobody knows me. My so you now has developed small aid just to handle them and just add the last one, but it's okay to list your songs. I don't know about the prayer one because that one, because I've seen certain churches do it, but after the songs, Diana Hamilton and the rest, they all list their songs. After then, you even see that they are making references. You go back.
Something there are a lot of slaves. I was suffered from.
Yeah. The community.
She's an excuse. How can we have slaves in work?
So, Papa, slips naturally, sometimes they happen unconsciously. Those of us who have even mastered the art will slip. But you can work at reducing those slips. And one of the ways is that don't rush in your speaking. In fact, that particular presentation that Camille did, he was under a lot of pressure. And he should have allowed himself to relax because the minority were heckling him. So in an effort to speak, or correcting, so pay attention to the environment. Try and be relaxed. If you are in a hurry to finish, you are rushing, you make those mistakes more. Sometimes when you're even relaxed, you make them. So you can imagine if you are rushing. So as for the slips, back once in a while, but try to be relaxed. Speak your normal pace. Don't rush it. My words, number normal 1-1. Yeah, very fine. At this point, yes, mom. Okay, the prayer one. Okay, mom is okay.
Like the way we have
Yes.
that way.
Yes.
And you are finding it pronounce this one. Jump. Maybe about so that like you know that this one is. So if you are not comfortable with this one, then it will still be safe, unless maybe technical way that you need. But I'm just asking, can that also be?
It is actually one of the perfect ways. So it comes down to use the very simple words. So the common simple words, and no get about. So like she's saying, where no a mood, you look for the synonym or a similar word. I mean, one that is closest in meaning. We the presenters, sometimes we are smart. Sometimes we are a genius. Middle name you who buy a first two names, the German one. But you have to wait because you perceive it. So these ones,
That act makes you coordinated. When you list everything you want to do, you know the human mind is always coming out with new ideas, and so in your doing the worship, a song can flash in, and it will delete everything you had in mind that you wanted to do. It will distort you, and so if you have not mastered the art, even that, don't think of mastering because that is why even journalists and recently that I realized that that's the reason why they use talk back. When I started singing professional kind of music, that's the reason why they use talk back. To hear there's someone in the background telling them.
And so if you see someone who's not referring to probably a list or an iPad of the things that he wants to do, there's someone in the background mentioning the things to them. Okay, from here we are going here, from here we are going here. And so you, to prevent you from getting to a point where you go and get stuck, you don't know what you are doing next. List everything. There was a time where a communique came from the chairman's office on if you are even invited to go and pray somewhere, normally at a politicians. Your prayer, write it and send it to the chairman's office. Do edit for you and bring it back to you. So that you don't go and say something that will put the church in trouble.
Yeah.
So even your prayer, if you write it, and if you have noticed the Methodist bishops, the Anglican, normally some of these people write everything so that they don't put themselves in trouble.
Sure. Thank you very much. I'm handing it over to Pastor. Maybe the power one when we meet at our level.
Oh, let's say that for the Lord. Good. We are learning a lot, and it is our prayer we'll put it to good use. Hallelujah.
Amen.